Welcome to Black Book TV, where we spotlight Houston's best Black-owned businesses.
I just want to see Black businesses do well. That's it.
Yeah.
Because you're basically telling them, like, I'm necessary.
You are.
One thing about God, he will give you the vision.
Welcome to another episode of Black Book TV, where we bring you the hottest entrepreneurs, business owners, people in the community that's doing amazing, great things. Today, we have a very special guest, Mr. Phillip P.J. Jones, founder and owner of Jones Capital Wealth, vice president of the Glenwood Forest Community Civic Club, and this brother is doing some amazing things, not just only in the financial realm, but also in his community. PJ, man, welcome to Black Book TV, man.
Hey, man, I'm just blessed to be up this morning, man. I want to thank you for allowing me, man, this opportunity, man, to just, get off what I need. But, man, just shout out, man, and thank you guys, Black Book Houston, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it. So, PJ, I know with Jones Capital Wealth, you're helping individuals, especially the underserved minority community, secure their financial future. So before we really dive into what that means and what that looks like, can you kind of share with us what inspired you to say, you know what, man, let me start Jones Capital Wealth?
Hey, man, I think that's the $1 million question. I'm always asked that question. I don't think I'm asked that question enough. Hey, man, what I've been doing this for a while. I would say it's pretty much been under the radar. But, man, when I see our community, I'm in the community, when I see the lack of, that's what's pushing me. That's what's driving me. It's the lack of. If you ask me, PJ, the lack of what? The lack of education, the lack of knowledge, the misconceptions, the myths. And so now it's pretty much now, I would just say, a cliche. It's like now I got the cape on. I got to get out to the community.
Yeah.
I got to wake these people up. Because I see the much more we're getting behind. So, you know how it is, man. I was raised. I mean, when it's a problem, you're either going to talk about it or you're going to do something about it. So I think that's why I'm at it right now in my life. I'm going to do something about it.
Got you.
Yeah.
What side of town you from, man? Because I'm hearing some energy up in there.
Well, first of all, when it comes down to business, I'm everywhere. I'm first of all, I'm global with it.
Yeah.
But just to be known, man, I'm from Glenwood Forest. Glenwood Forest, man, north of 16, east of 59. So Glenwood Forest, let that be known.
Got you.
That's more that that Mesa Titwell corridor, man.
Got you.
Yeah,
got you.
absolutely.
Got you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to that. I just had to throw that out there. Give a shout out to Glenwood Forest, man.
Shout out to Glenwood.
Because you the man over there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. I mean, I want to believe that's what they say. Yeah. That's what they say. Yeah.
So back to Jones Capital Wealth.
Yeah.
I know that Jones Capital Wealth offers a variety of services. You talk about retirement planning, personal financing, all those different things. What area of personal finance do you feel is often overlooked, but that's extremely important, to individuals?
Man, that's a good question. So overall, man, a lot of diversified plans. I think what's really overlooked is leaving the legacy. You able to do these things through insurables. I mean, you're able to do these things, wealth accumulation, through insurables, through different plans. I think more so, believe it or not, and not to be vague, it's just overlooking people leaving the legacy. We're not leaving a legacy. We're not even being brought to the table. We're not even asking the probing questions. How do I leave that legacy?
Right.
And that's what's happening. A gap of the generational wealth. It's just a large gap. So that's what I think that's looked over. Another thing that's looked over too, let me just tell you this, man, and people can look this up, man. It's the $1 million baby plan.
Yeah.
You can look it up. Listen, a lot of people, when I see these precious babies being born, and no offense to anyone out there, but I see someone can easily go buy a Gucci bag, a Fendi bag, whatever have you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's that child's future, and we're not leaving legacy. So if you ask me, that's the thing about it. We're just not leaving a legacy. Flat out, and we're getting further and further behind.
Got you. So with Jones Capital Wealth, it's about leaving a legacy. It's about passing that baton of wealth,
Yes.
To that next generation. And when you were talking and you were saying that, one of the things that came up in my mind is, a college savings plan, right?
Yeah.
So I have kids, right? I have two kids, two beautiful, wonderful, amazing kids.
Yeah.
What is something that I can do, to ensure that, I have a college savings plan in place for them, so that if they so choose to say, hey, Dad, I want to go to college, I have something there for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Should I just stack up my money and put it in a savings account?
No. And just to stay within the realm of what my education is, and not to get anyone off course. That's a great question. You want to start early, but
Yeah.
for those that feel like, PJ, they are 17, I'm too late. You're never too late.
Okay.
You're never
Okay.
too late, because of the simple fact. I would always say this: you're never granted on the age that you go to college.
That's true.
So you have people that's 45, 55, have you, they graduate. So when it comes to that child being very much so smaller, I would tell people to jump on that. That's something that you want to jump on early in the game. Yeah. Most definitely. And also, I would just say, start today. Start today.
So it's never too late to start, right?
No, it's never too late. I think that's one of the biggest myths, one of the biggest misconceptions. It's never too late to start.
Gotcha.
And it's one of those things is start today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, start today.
Got you. So, we talk about starting today. We talked about the age of, when to start. I come across a lot of, I would consider them young, what I mean, business owners who, are in their 30s, or 40s. But even for those who may not be in that age bracket, they may be a little younger or a little older. What is some advice would you give to a business owner or somebody who's looking to start their business? Just some financial advice as to, what should they do? Like, where should they start? You might have a person that's employed right now who's thinking about quitting their job. Should they just quit? Like, what kind of, advice would you give?
The type of advice I would give them is, number one, Carl Jones Capital Wealth. That's number one. You should do that. But it's so many, and you touched on something. It's as simple as income tax. When you get your income tax, I think that's a Jones Capital Wealth call. When you start dealing with business, I'll just give you an example. When you start thinking about some of your, like you say, true entrepreneurs, entertainers, or even ball players, when you start thinking about your beauty, your barber, those are coattail plans that are out there for that person. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, Jay, is that people are afraid of what they don't know. They think it's just going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me. I'm like, it's not even expensive. Your life, your future, is not an amount on it.
Right.
And I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions. So you asking that question is a great question. I think that we have plans that are coattail to each person. That's like if I wear a size 11, you want to put an 8 on someone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we have some coattail plans, man. They fire. Later on we'll get into that stories that people can contest to. And I encourage those individuals.
Yeah.
Those self-employed individuals.
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is the juggernaut. It's plans that are there for them, directly for them.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up, right? And you kind of hit on it. You kind of hit on it hard, right? You don't just have a cookie cutter, hey, I'm giving everybody this one plan.
Right.
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 Because a lot of times, like even in our industry, I come across other like businesses that provide marketing. And when I listen to them speak, they just kind of give everybody the same information.
Right.
And I'm like, man, you're really not helping this person.
Right.
Right. So I like the fact that you're sitting down with people during these consultations and kind of identifying the different things that they need and tailoring it to specifically their situation.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. This is not actually, this is not a pull-up, a drive-through. When you pull up and you say, I want a number 4, I want a number 6. It's never that. You know what I'm saying? This is a sit-down, more say, steakhouse type of, do you want it medium? Do you want a medium rare? Do you want it, it's some wagyu. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but that's just what it is. Coattailing that to that person and to that family.
Gotcha.
And that's the approach that we take all the time. That's the approach we take every day. We don't cut corners, and that's what it is: solidifying and passing the baton of wealth.
Got you. Solidifying, passing the baton of wealth, not cutting corners. Excellent. I tell my wife this all the time, especially with Black Book. Excellence is always the standard.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing to look at it. One of the things about it too, and I'm just throwing this out there, not you even ask.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that I have to go through. Members of Jones Capital Wealth go through. I still go through an FBI check.
Okay.
I have to. So that's my credibility. When you look at those type of things, that's how important. I bring that up to say how important this thing is. Fingerprint, FBI check.
Yeah.
So I say this and no shade. I love what I do. I'm just damn good at it.
Yeah. No,
I'm
real.
just being honest with you, and I tell people that, and I always say that. I say, listen, if I'm not I'm not saying I'm just the only one, Jones Capital West, the only one on this planet.
Right.
But I really feel if I'm not in your home, if I'm not knocking at your door, if I'm not in front of your family, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is.
That's very scary.
It is. Because one of the things that frustrates me, especially within our community, and this is why this conversation is so important, is because I get tired of seeing the fish fries. I get tired of seeing the, you know what I'm saying? The dinners and, you know, all of this, the raising money.
Yeah.
All of this kind of stuff when, you know, and I get it, right? And maybe you can answer this question. Because I know with certain people, they feel like they're not financially fit to be able to get a life insurance plan.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? And we're just speaking on life insurance right now. You know, I know you provide other services.
Yeah.
But from that life insurance aspect, like, I feel like that's super important.
It is.
Like, let's say I'm a person that's, you know, struggling. Like, hey, I got all these bills.
Right.
I'm making ends meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How can I afford a life insurance policy? You know what I mean? What would you say to somebody like that?
Man, it's affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, this is the thing. You can't afford not to have it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can't afford not to have it. Normally, I've been doing this long enough, you can just say right at 7 years.
Okay.
6 or 7 years. And let me tell you something. I found out, I'm going to say 90%. This is facts, 90%. 90% of the individuals that I know they can't afford it, the ones that saying they can't, it's a habit that they need to cut back on. Whether it's cigarettes, whether it's liquor, whether it's a habit.
Right.
And normally I found out 90% of that habit that they have going on is a habit that's killing them.
Got you.
It's killing them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, and like I say, 90% is them basically saying, when I come to them, is I don't want to get this habit up.
Right. Say I don't want to sacrifice.
I don't want to sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's point blank. Now, we have ways, and it's so many ways, and it is not expensive. And like I said, that's just the only time where I see that.
Yeah.
Let me give you a story, man.
Okay.
This facts. This is a true story. I was down because I'm a national broker, of course. I service Texas and Louisiana, and I'm getting ready to be licensed in Washington State.
Okay.
That's my goal, right? I'm figuring licensed down there, Pierce County. So maybe 5 years ago, I won't say the name, of course. I was in Dallas.
Okay.
I got with this young man. This young man was 62 years of age.
Okay.
When I went to his home, he had just brought a Corvette.
Okay.
Man, he was just talking about that Corvette, which is fine. That's all he was talking about was that Corvette. So he kept talking about the Corvette. And so we would get back to it. And I said, hey, we need to make sure that you locked in. We need to make sure that you are locked in, you know, taking care of your family, leaving a legacy. I still remember like it was yesterday. You know what he told me?
What's that?
He said, I'll think about it. Now watch this.
Wow.
I want everyone to hear this.
You said 62 years old?
62 years of age. It was kind of a little late, you know. I mean, he had a lot of opportunity to do it. But when it come knocking, it come knocking. And let me just tell you this, and I want everyone to hear this. He said, I'm going to think about it. Well, his thoughts, 2 weeks later, he passed.
Wow.
True story. My card was on his table. So I was the last one that spoke to him about, you know, passing up a ton of wealth.
Yeah.
To speed it up, short version of it, his daughter, his family, when he passed, his daughter and them seen my card. They assumed
he had life
insurance, right?
Wow.
So they called me, and you know, and I'm going crazy because I'm like, man, I don't see this guy in here. He's not on my book of business. I'm not seeing it. I got my client control person. I said, we don't see him, and it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, you're talking about, you know, she didn't really go into details. So with that being said, they was in Dallas on R.L. Thornton doing fish fries, doing the fish fry and trying to prepare a crawfish ball.
Yeah.
And it really put a strain on their family.
Yeah.
And so those are the decisions when you look at the Corvette, not knocking that, he had it, but he was so engulfed in the excitement of the Corvette that he forgot about his own self. Right. True story. I still remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. So it's things like that, man, that happens every day. And it was so unfortunate.
It was.
Yeah,
very
unfortunate. Yeah.
Very unfortunate. Yeah. We're gonna transition now into, we talked about Jones Capital Wealth.
Yeah.
I feel like we hit home on some things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're gonna transition onto a more
I'm here.
more positive note.
Man, I'm
you
here.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, Mr. Jones over here, PJ. I said it earlier, you the man in Glenwood,
Yeah.
When you hear Glenwood Forest, like, I don't know, people say PJ,
Yeah.
Have you talked to PJ?
Right.
That's literally what they tell me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anything going on in Glenwood,
Yeah.
you got to talk to PJ. Now, that's no disrespect to,
Yeah.
the other,
Right.
community members that's
Right.
over there, because, Glenwood Forest, the entire community Civic Club is doing amazing things.
Right.
I know you serve as the vice president currently of Glenwood Forest.
That's right.
Can you kind of just briefly kind of tell us about, Glenwood Forest Community Civic Club and what it means to serve in the capacity in which you serving?
Hey, man, I love Glenwood. And y'all might say, I sleep in Jones Capital Wealth at night in Glenwood. Well, like every night I got my tree shirt on and everything. But Glenwood Forest is where I was born and raised, man. And I was formerly the president. It was a lot of things that was going on in our community. We was getting ready to lose our community. And when I say lose the community, it was being neglected. And when I say neglect, when you have gentrification of rising of that, we were able to accomplish so many things to protect that community. Never thought I would be there, but I seen a problem that was going on and we had to jump in there. Man, we had we had famine of just resources. And so, you go on and on, you name it. We was lacking it. So I thank God he put a fire in me and allow good people that's around me to go ahead and push things forward. And that's what it's all about, man. It's about that team. And I take that as a compliment, man.
Oh, for sure.
So, I think that a lot of times when you are in leadership, a lot of people like to pick and choose when they want to do certain stuff, but that haven't been an option for me, man. And like they would say, is every day facing it, standing up to it every day. It's been challenges and they're going to remain. And that's what true leadership comes out. So we've been through some adversity, man, but we conquered it, I would say, and we're still going. And Glenwood is on the rise, man. I'm serious. Even from the educational standpoint, even from the insurance standpoint.
Right.
Hey, man, it's just different things permeating through there, man. The energy is just nice, man. So I'm glad you asked that.
No, for sure. One of the things that I'm excited about, I heard y'all was able to get a patrol car.
Yes.
Over there in Glenwood.
Oh, man.
I know it's a geriatric community.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of older individuals that live in Glenwood.
Yeah.
So how has, having that patrol car, in Glenwood kind of not only assisted, those people, but has affected the community as a whole?
Yeah, man, that's a good question, man. Immediate change, man. We had 4 illegal dumping spots that no longer, I went to council and spoke on this. They're no longer there, and so that comes from the community coming together, patrolling the area. Hey, man, let me tell you something. The seniors, the octogenarians of our community, man, our young octogenarians, man, they love to see the green flashing lights come through there.
Yeah.
They know we mean business. That means protection.
Yeah.
And we welcome everyone in Glenwood Forest. But, man, it has really been a sigh of relief. We're not the police, but it's just showing individuals that we are patrolling our community. We care.
Absolutely.
And so, man, you get a lot of waves, man. You see the little kids, the kids is there and they pointing and seeing the green lights.
Yeah.
It's just very exciting, man.
Got you.
Yeah, we love
Got
it.
you. Got you, man. I love Glenwood Forest too, man.
Yeah,
Y'all
man.
doing some amazing things.
Yeah.
And I know y'all have a very exciting event that's coming up in December.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell us about the Munch and Brunch?
Oh, man, the Munch and Brunch, man, it's one of those things. I'm just going to speak on a little bit because I just don't want to unveil it.
Okay, okay.
But I'm glad you asked it.
Yeah.
First of all, man, when you come to Glenwood, I'm just going to always tell people, man, Glenwood is one of the best communities, man, in Houston, man, hands down. I don't care what nobody say, hands down, man.
Yeah.
When you come to Glenwood, I'm not this. Man, look, man, we hear the birds chirping, the squirrels run up the tree.
Yeah.
You smell that fresh pine. Glenwood Forest, man. I'm serious, man. It is a nice community. However, the Munch and Brunch is it's an end of the year tribute that we just want to thank the individuals that got us here.
No,
we want to thank the residents, everyone who got us here. And it's one of those times where we just want to give back to, have a good time, and show our appreciation. And so I just think this will be a good time just to not to open up, the box of everything. But I'll just tell people stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Oh my goodness,
Okay.
man. Stay tuned. I just believe, man, if you're not at the Munch and Brunch, you just missed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like for real, for real.
I
You're
got
just not.
you.
You're just not. Yeah, you're just not in tune or something.
I got you.
You're just not in tune. But I wouldn't sleep on it.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So how can local businesses who are looking to support
Mhm.
Glenwood Forest be able to do that?
Man, they need to get in contact with Glenwood Forest.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
You know, I said that like that was easy, but a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of them just don't get in. They don't get in contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how they can do that is, of course, you know, going on our website. Man, we're transparent.
Mhm.
We're out there, you
Yeah.
know, and so we take on those donations. We would love those donations. And if there's any businesses out there, we have our solicitation, corporate packages. We'll show them different things, show them our outline, our plan, and how they can become a part of that.
No, for
And
sure.
we are seeking that. We are looking for that because, you know, no communities are driven by businesses, the surrounding businesses.
For sure.
And we're at the end of the day, we're all family. We're all the ones who drive that. So just getting in contact with us, man, on our website and all those things, social media and all those platforms.
Got you.
Simple. Yeah.
Got you.
Mhm.
Got you. Now, earlier at the beginning of the interview, you talked about putting on your cape and, you know,
Yeah.
saving people in that financial,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
you know, industry in that realm of
Yeah.
things. But you were also formerly the director of constituent services for
Yeah.
the District B
Yes.
office within the city of Houston.
Yes.
How did that, you know, prepare you for, you know, all the great things that you're doing now? You know what I mean? Like what maybe are some challenges or obstacles that you've seen in the community
Mhm.
or, you know, just different problems that you've been able to solve while you was, you know, in that position. How has that prepared you for, you know, the journey that you're taking now, helping people,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, with their financial futures,
Yeah.
as well as, you know, being involved in the community and, you know,
Right.
still being involved with civic engagement through Glenwood Forest Community Civic Club?
Oh man, when you asked that question, that really touched home, man. You know, honestly, hands down, man. I mean, when I was listening to you, man, God put me there,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say it again. God put
Yeah.
me there, and I've seen by being in the time that I was there, I seen the lack of
Yeah.
truly in the trenches. I see it. I see the and still see. I see the hurt. I see the pain. I see the lack of. Now, the question, or I should say, the statement is now, PJ, that you've seen that. How do you go about doing it? How do you go about and help that situation? And I believe I'm doing that now, and on the verge of doing a lot of those things now. So if you ask that question, that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's people hurting. It's the lack of.
Right.
And I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. I've seen, and I'll just say this, and I'm just transparent. I see a lot of individuals, believe it or not, that appear to care but
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
It could be.
Hold on, man. You gotta say that one more
Yeah,
time, man.
yeah,
Because I see it too, right?
Yeah, it's a lot, and I say it's a lot of I've seen
Yeah.
this and witnessed it.
I've seen it in
That
witnessed
it's
as
a
well.
lot of individuals that appear to care but don't care. Serving is not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy at all. It is truly a calling. And by me seeing that, it put a lot of things in perspective, and it kept me in check, and it has kept me balanced with God, and
Yeah.
just know
Yeah.
what that purpose is, and knowing the lack of, because it's a lot of things that's going on. So we just have to position ourselves and have those open hands, have those open arms, and present that, and have that heart to wake up in the morning and want to help.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that,
Mhm.
especially that piece about there's people that appear,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like they want to help, but they
Yeah.
actually not helping.
No.
Because I see that a lot too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretenders out there and a lot
Yeah.
of fakers.
Yeah.
But you gotta make sure that you focus in and hone in on those people who aren't pretending, the doers,
that's
the one that's
correct.
actually serving
That's
and
correct.
executing.
That's
You know
correct.
what I mean?
That's
But
correct.
nah, I just want to say thank you, PJ, for
Yes.
coming on to an episode of Black Book TV.
Absolutely, man.
I think it's very important that people secure their financial future.
Yeah.
If you're looking to do that, make sure that you check out Jones Capital Wealth on all social media platforms,
Yeah.
at their website. at jonescapitalwealth.com.
That's correct.
You know what I mean? Make sure you book your consultation because passing the baton of wealth is definitely something that's important to our community. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with?
I want to leave with something. I'm just going to tell you this leaving out. If I'm not at your table, and this is how I feel, if I'm not at your table in your house, if I'm not at your fish fries or if your crawfish balls, if I'm not there, hey, you got a serious problem. And I'm going to say this again, high 90% of people home I go to, they got a problem. They just don't know what problem it is. I'm there to help them figure it out. So if I'm not there, and then I'll say this to every one of my friends, anyone, if you know me, and you haven't even inquired about Jones Capital Wealth, shame on you. Shame on you. You know, sometimes God put things here. Yeah. And he put a small period of time for us to take advantage of it, right?
For sure.
So that's what I say. Just make sure you're passing the baton, getting that Jones Capital Wealth experience. And again, I think Black Book Houston, I think a lot of times too, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on here. Entrepreneurs, business owners, I'm saying that's why I'm on here. I'm not going to waste my time. If you're not getting the Black Book experience, you sleep. That's from Houston, Atlanta, Seattle, Denver, you name it. If you're not getting the Black Book experience, you sleep. That's all I got to say, man.
Man, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's been real. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Black Book TV. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, all that good stuff. And follow us on all social media platforms at Black Book Houston. Be sure to check us out on the website, www.blackbookhouston.com. It's been real. Peace.